Hello, everybody. On this episode of the Crate Rate, it's the prize fight you have all been waiting for: Nerd Block versus Loot Crate. Let's get started. Hey guys, I'm one of your hosts, AJ, and joined with me as always is Big Poppa.
What's up, guys?
And we're one host short today. Hale's decided to bow this one out. Today, we will be facing off Nerd Block or Loot Crate. 5 rounds will decide this. With our first round.
5 rounds?
5 rounds.
Nice.
Yep.
That's like UFC title fight.
Exactly. This is big deal.
Sweet.
We'll declare a winner at the end. You ready to get started?
Let's get this fight on.
Round 1 in our prize fight is pricing. Let's determine which crate or block here has the best pricing structure.
Let's do it.
Big Papa, go first and tell us what we have to offer with this Nerd Block.
So with Nerd Block, it's like $19.99 plus shipping and handling. So a little bit over $20, you can get this Nerd Block shipped right to your doorstep.
As in, Loot Crate is about $13.95 plus $6 shipping and handling. Or I think it's $13.67 plus $6 shipping and handling. So for less than that $20 bill per month, you can get this shipped to your doorstep.
All right. So with Nerd Block, some of the different benefits that you can get with the Nerd Block to kind of draw this out a little bit is that they got different subscription services like the Arcade Block, Nerd Block Junior, and things like that, where the price of it can actually drop down slightly and bring it closer down to the price of the Loot Crate.
All right, before you go into that, let's also mention that I think both of these have the 1 month, 3 month, 6 month, and 12-month subscription that will lower your cost of entry.
And they do, yes.
Per crate there. But with your standard block, Loot Crate's coming ahead right now because it's still cheaper.
Yes.
So tell us about these other options. What would make the Nerd Block less expensive than the Loot Crate?
Just because Nerd Block, they pack in so much stuff into it that it's a little bit higher end. But like if you've got kids that see something that they like on there, they got the Nerd Block Junior that you can drop down, and it doesn't have quite as big of items, but they still have awesome items in that block as well.
And that lowers the cost?
It does lower the cost a little bit.
Okay. So fair to say that this one, you'd have to choose those other options to appeal to that lower cost, but your standard level of entry, Nerd Block might be a little higher with those options for lower cost.
Yep.
Loot Crate is consistent with that less than $20 range. Let's call this one a draw.
We can do that.
Round 2, content. What are we getting for that pricing that we determined in round 1? Starting off, let's talk about the packaging of the Nerd Block versus the Loot Crate.
I think the Nerd Block right off the bat has a little bit more character to it, just the box itself. Loot Crate seems to be a little flat with just their logo on it, while Nerd Block has a little bit cooler design on the outside of the packaging.
Definitely. And flipping it to the inside, I know Nerd Block has a design on there, but what makes Loot Crate a little bit unique is on the inside of that box. As you guys can see here or watched in the other videos, they seem to play to the theme really well, and a lot of times the box becomes, part of that item that you get.
Yeah,
sure.
Definitely.
Talking about those items, going into content, what else does Nerd Block have to offer?
So far with the Nerd Block, with the 2 blocks that we've had, I don't think we've really been too let down on any of the items in there. While there's only about 5 of them per block, they all seem to be pretty high level or pretty cool.
Nice. Loot Crate seems to offer more items per block, which I think is fantastic, and you have a much likely chance of finding that one item that you really like, versus Nerd Block in there, you might end up only having 5 or 6 items, not find anything that you like in there.
That's true.
But in the same token, with Loot Crate, you have those filler items, so to speak, because they do sometimes 7 and 8 items. So those lower tier ones that you get in there just for kicks, basically, might not be so valuable.
Yeah, very true.
On there, the stuff in there seems to be priced a little bit higher.
It does. When we've gone through it all, it does seem like the value on the items are a little bit more up on that scale.
So let's call content a draw, and let's move on to that round 3, which is value. So for round 3, let's take away the subscription price and the cost of entry, and let's
Out of there.
out of it. Let's just focus on the value of the items that are inside each respective subscription service.
All right, we can definitely do that.
So, what have we found? You are the guru of searching the internet far and wide for comparable values. Loot Crate claims that there's a $40 value in there. Does Loot Crate make a similar, or the Nerd Block make a
Yeah,
similar
it does.
claim?
I believe it's $40 or $50 that they claim is in each block.
Okay.
So, same thing that they're claiming.
Yeah.
Right about the same amount.
Good. And we talked about earlier that there's less items in here than there are in the Loot Crate. So what are we finding about the value?
So far, like this last one we did between the two you see here, Cyber and British Invasion, this one did come out ahead by, I think it was like $4, I think, for the block, with like 3 items less. So overall, that value on this does seem to be a little bit higher on that end.
Yeah, I would tend to have to agree. The items that we've pulled out of there, the shirts are always valued at $20.
Plus a coupon.
Yeah, plus they get a coupon. You get that pop figure that has been in there. We got that in the last one. You got an action figure. The last time Loot Crate has done any of those 3s, I can't even remember. Usually you get a shirt or a pop. However, this Loot Crate, you did get the character, the skull, and a t-shirt.
Yep.
So that helped it a little bit. But with those other items in there, like with a patch and stuff like that, it's great for the number of items that are adding, but not so great for the value that it's getting because it's still reaching the same threshold with more items.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think it's fair enough to say that Nerd Block gets the win on this round.
Yep.
So going into round 4, we've got Nerd Block ahead 1-0 with the first 2 rounds being a draw.
Yeah. Let's see what happens next.
Round 4 is community. Let's talk about
right.
how each subscription service embraces their subscriber base, starting with Nerd Block.
Well, Nerd Block does have Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff. I just don't see that they push and try and get their members into it that much. It seems like they're just kind of, they're there to help you and everything, but they don't have that push to get you sending in pictures, to get you sending in ideas or things of that nature.
Gotcha.
You know?
But they do offer like opportunities for the community for second chance items.
They do. When after a while they still have some items left over or whatever the case may be, kind of like Vinyl Palooza, where you can come back and order a specific block that just contains maybe pop figures or vinyl figures from earlier blocks. They do the same thing with T-shirts and things of that nature.
Gotcha. So that's kind of cool. That adds a little bit of community to it. Loot Crate, on the other hand, I think is big on community. Every time you open one of the books, they're always doing different type of contests. They did one with the Marvel Ice Cube trays, post the coolest drink. They've done one with the monies, where you can design your own money, get a contest with it. They've got phenomenal customer service from what I can see on Twitter. They, again, have the Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. They encourage the document, share, and enjoy with everybody that they have there. And in that book, they also include looters, is what they call them, pictures of people that are opening the box and unboxing, and they're always favoriting and retweeting those kind of things. So I think it's pretty clear that Loot Crate gets the win on this one.
That one there.
Bringing that score 1-1 going into our final round.
Yep.
Closing out with our 5th and final round, topic is going to be theme selection. Going forward and seeing how excited we are when they announce those themes and what our expectations are going forward. We do predictions on the crate rate all the time for Loot Crate, so let me start here.
All right, go ahead.
Going that we've done this for almost a year now, this theme selection to me has been, give or take.
All right.
Some things that they've announced we've been really pumped for. Some things on there we've kind of held back a little bit and said, I don't know what to expect. The good part about it is Loot Crate does provide a description on what they will be including to kind of wet your whistle a little bit and give that little tease. The bad part about that is if that particular theme does not appeal to you, it could be hard to get excited and say, why did I drop my $20 for that kind of thing? How does Nerd Block stack up with that theme selection?
It's a little bit hard for us because we've only done 2 Nerd Blocks at this point. And I have to say, hands down, Nerd Block absolutely has to win.
Why is that?
Anime.
Wait
They
a
gave
minute.
me the anime.
Wait. Yes, they gave you the anime. Loot Crate did not give you the anime, but tell them about how excited you were about the British invasion theme.
Yeah, I mean, the British invasion, I really just didn't have that high hopes for it. They kind of talked about it a little bit when they sent out the email, and I just didn't see it being a very popular crate or block. And then we get it in, and it just kind of blew our expectations out of the water.
Yeah, but this round is only about the theme selection on here and whether you get hyped about those choices,
That is
whether
true.
or not they're good or not. You thought about switching to one of the different options that Nerd Block had to offer.
And I did. I really did. Just because of the way they came out with it. Had I done that, I would have missed out on this.
You would have. But going from a really, really high theme to what you always wanted that Loot Crate didn't provide you to a theme that you really didn't care about, the switching, I think it's too early for us to tell for the Nerd Block with the up and down themes for Loot Crate. I think this round is a draw.
It's kind of not even a draw, it's just a wash at this point.
Right.
I mean,
declaring this prize fight a winner is going to be difficult. Our first round, to recap, was pricing, ended in a draw. Our second round was content, ended in a draw. It wasn't until round 3 with the value that Nerd Block edged ahead with the less items, more expensive inclusion.
Oh, yeah.
Round 4 with community, Loot Crate swung back, taking it down to its ropes where we were tied 1-1, and finishing out round 5 with our theme selection. It seemed like this one was kind of a wash.
So, I mean, I hate to leave the viewers saying that they're equally as good. Is there anything we can say about it? Because, I mean, I've got some opinions on Nerd Block. The fact that you can do some of the switching, kind of leads to that person that might want a little bit of different things and might want to jump around and not be stuck somewhere.
Definitely. Nerd Block, hands down, offers flexibility on different options and content that you're going to have, but you're going to pay for that.
You are.
With the different options, you might pay a little bit more or a little bit less. And like you mentioned earlier, had you switched from this British invasion theme, we would have missed out on a great crate or a great block. Granted, the other ones might have been equally as cool, but you never know what you're going to expect for that.
So for that person looking for that, that's a great option.
Yes.
Is there something kind of on that route that we can talk about for the Loot Crate that...
Yeah, I mean, what you're getting with Loot Crate is consistency. You are getting a interactive box every single month. You are getting a theme that you know what's going to include. And you're usually going to find that one item that you're excited about. And a lot of times, with the excitement of unboxing it and finding that one item that is normally at least half the value of what you paid for, it comes out worth it no matter what the theme is.
And then if you're somebody that likes taking those selfies and likes those type of things, kind of that leans more towards that also, because you can get that into Loot Crate and kind of go on that community route over there a little bit more than you can on the Nerd Block.
Definitely. This show started because of Loot Crate.
Yeah.
It started with something that we wanted to do and unbox, and if Loot Crate wouldn't have encouraged the filming, the community aspect of it, I don't think we would be here right now and be in the situation that we are.
So kind of what I think we're trying to say is that they're both awesome, and they both have their high and low at this point. I think that you kind of need to buy both or try both or decide what route you want to go to, the flexibility aspect or the consistency community type thing, right?
Definitely. We've been very impressed with the last 2 Nerd Blocks that we've got, but it's only been 2. We've been dealing with Loot Crate for a while now. But we found out it's very, very personal. It's a personal choice and decision on which one you want to go for. And I would say don't be afraid to try one month, try one the next month. With both of them offering the second chance opportunities, you can always go back.
Oh, yeah.
Both of them offering exclusive items. A lot of times you can go back and get them a little bit later to find out what you really like.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So guys, make sure you comment below on which one you like better, Nerd Block or Loot Crate. As always, click that subscribe button, become a subscriber, share us, and like the videos. My name is AJ. Follow us on Twitter at The Crate Rate. This is Big Poppa at US Beer Traders. And until next time, guys, keep crate rating.